All right. Speaking of huge, I think or huge. It's gonna be huge. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about it. So yeah. So let's talk about. Well, first let's because there's like two bits of Trumpian news, but let's go in like kind of in order and talk about impeachment.
What there's an impeachment going on? What?
I mean, like it's kind of hilarious because like the way that the Democrats made it sound like oh, this is urgent, we got to get him out right away. But then like after they went and got him, and after they did like their whole vote and got him impeached, they Nancy started dragging her legs more than usual.
Well, let's go back to even before the her Nancy Pelosi's little ploy that she's doing. Right. Is that we got him on bribery, and we got him on this, and we got him on that. But then they slowly start to change the language. Like all of a sudden, when the official charges are brought up in the House, where's bribery?
Right.
It's nowhere to be found, and right. It's all this kind of fluffy like he's obstructing Congress. It's like
right. They definitely nerfed
that's what every president has done since the presidency began. Is like that's the whole point of the.
I know. I mean, there's literal hot mic recording of Obama telling a Russian diplomat, "Hey, just wait until I get reelected, then I can help you out."
I'm not even going in that, but it's like the wording of obstruction of Congress. That's okay. That's not obstruction of justice. That's obstruction.
Right. It's like saying like, oh, he's not doing what we want.
The executive branch isn't always supposed to agree with Congress. That's the whole point of the balance of powers.
Right.
What the fuck is an obstruction of Congress? That means zilch.
Yeah, that means nothing. They definitely nerfed They nerfed the charges.
Yeah, and they make it sound serious, but it's actually nothing. And I forget the congressman's name, but he's like he came up and it's like I'm gonna use the remaining time of my time on the floor to list all of the crimes done by Donald Trump, and he was silent. Which is accurate because there was nothing that he did that should cause this whole situation. Nothing. It was all horseshit.
Right, and I mean and I think no time. I think this might be the first time also in the history of impeachments that it was strictly partisan.
This becomes
it was strictly partisan. No, like there were no Republican votes for this impeachment. It was all Democrats. It was all Democrats, and actually, there was like 3 Democrats that actually, Tulsi Gabbard voted present but didn't vote on the articles, and 2 other Democrats voted no.
Yeah.
So like the rest, so every other Democrat within Congress voted yes to impeach the president. Like even during Watergate, there was more bipartisan cooperation. For Clinton, for Clinton there was more bipartisan cooperation.
And there actually was a crime there. It was he lied.
Right, he lied. He lied under oath.
People have gone to prison for a long time for that.
Right. But yeah, it just goes to show you, just how with the base, like the hackery that is these impeachment the proceedings, the vote, everything about this impeachment is purely a political ploy.
Yeah, but I think it sets a dangerous precedent because then, I mean, I'm not saying that that the Republicans would do this, but what happens when a Democrat gets in office? Are we going to do the same thing? It's like, well, we elected the guy, but like, so we're just going to create. So essentially, it cuts the legs off of Congress. I mean, not that they're actually doing anything, anyways.
Right.
I mean, literally, they have done. They've done zero. They've done nothing. The House of Representatives has done absolutely nothing at all. They don't represent the people. They don't. They spend all this time in Washington, and they get these paychecks, but and we're just throwing our tax money at them, and they're doing jack shit.
Exactly.
And
yeah, and I mean, because what is it?
These people don't actually live in the districts. They don't. They're supposed to represent. Like Nancy Pelosi and all these guys, they haven't lived in their district in ever. It's like maybe at one time.
It's like since they were born, basically.
Yeah, I mean.
But even then, like it was not even. Because Pelosi is, she comes from a political dynasty within Northern California. And it just goes to show, because her nephew is Gavin Newsom, who was once mayor of San Francisco and now is the governor of California.
Yeah.
And so, even just like practically, I mean, Maxine Waters, she holds the seat for the district that includes like Inglewood, Compton, I think Watts. But she doesn't even live in that district. She lives in like Highland Park. For those of you people not from Los Angeles, just think of, okay, here's like this is the district that Maxine Waters represents, and this is where she lives.
Nowhere near it.
Nowhere near. There's like a freeway that cuts like right in between. That's like the freeway is like kind of like the border. The 10 freeway, that's the border that separates Maxine Water from her constituents.
And that's even like the very little time that she actually spends in California. Like
right when she's when she has to be in Washington to represent her constituents.
I mean, the Congress was in session for 100 and some days this year. Like it was like 150 or some days or so. It's like, but they didn't do anything. They literally didn't do anything. And I mean, part of it you have, and it's not just Republicans or it's not just Democrats or Republicans. It's all of them. And part of it is you have the Democrats who are trying to, this coup to steal the presidency. But then you have the Republicans who are trying to go against that. But that's not, this whole thing this is not the will of the people. That we elected Donald Trump. Okay, if you don't like the guy, there's a vote, in 2020 that's coming up, any minute now. And so if the people who, that's, we the people, if we don't like him anymore, there's this whole thing where we can vote him out. It fucking infuriates me. I can't stand, we're stuck in this debt crisis because we're paying these people too much fucking money. We're throwing $4 trillion of tax money at these guys through state and federal taxes, and yet they keep trying to gouge us for more and more money for these programs. And we need more better health care, and we need to eliminate student debt and all this other shit. And it's like, where you already have $4 trillion that you're stealing from us to do nothing, and and it's just. It pisses me off. We're throwing money at all these entitlement programs. We're paying their salaries. We're giving money to foreign governments that are telling us to go fuck ourselves or death to America. I'm all for helping out like allies if we're getting something in return, through like trades or whatever. But fuck, man, it's just we we're going down the crapper so fast. And they just signed this. The one thing that they did is they signed another giant omnibus package of like just to kind of keep the government running for
Right. That's right.
for another year or so up until the election. And it's like, wait a second, like what? Why are we paying for this stuff? Like, and honestly, like if there was another government shutdown, okay, it did the last one. Did that affect us? Any of us? No. I mean, most people are like, none of the, none of like the checks that are like the disability, all that stuff. That stuff still keeps going out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain like essential functions, like obviously the military is still getting paid, all that stuff. But
Right.
did it affect anyone? No.
Right, because there's people complaining about like how national parks are being closed because they didn't have the money to keep them open or whatever. It's like
Yeah, they did.
That's not a general concern. It's like if a park closes down, it's not a vital thing for the country. I mean, yeah, like park rangers won't get their paychecks or whatever, and that's messed up. But as a general thing, it's like who cares? A park is closed. I can't go and walk in the woods.
It infuriates me, and this whole like and it with the impeachment stuff. It's like this is what I'm seeing in the news. It was at least for like it's kind of like died down a little bit with some of this other stuff going on, because I know it's like it's a loser. It's the people are tired of hearing about it, so it's slowly started to die off in the news. But for a good, I mean, obviously since 2016, they've been bitching about this stuff, and this is all they've talked about, and it's just this is what we're paying taxes for, is for this shit, for this charade.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just it's so telling that that all this is a ploy because Nancy Pelosi first because like to her okay, they got the votes, they impeached him, okay, good job, you got him impeached, but now it's like like it can't even proceed really because she hasn't turned over, or it just broke I think today or just a couple of days ago that she will be passing along the articles of impeachment so that it can be tried in the Senate. But for but like as soon as like she got the votes, and they're like, okay, so when can we expect the article? She's like, no, I have, I need some certain assurances about how how the trial is gonna go, or I want some more. I also want more time to interview more witnesses, and just like bitch, that was your time to do it.
For
Also,
someone that's been in government for 1,000 years, like like she has, with her dentures falling out and shit.
I don't oh my god, it's so crazy. Every time she talks, she always like you can hear her dentures like clacking. It's like if they lose their grip, and she has kind of like with her tongue push it back into place.
It's oh my god, it's like you got to use a little bit more polydent there, Nancy.
I know, right? A little bit more polygrip there, Granny. But to the point, but she was like, she was also making demands of like how the trial was to go. It's like that's not how it works. You
doesn't know how it works.
Yeah, because your job is to say like, yes, we all agree that the president did a bad thing, and so now it's the Senate's job to try it. And she was going on about how what Mitch McConnell was saying about how like, oh, as soon as I get this, I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote against it. And she was like saying like, oh, that's very, that's not very, impartial. And it's like, you're supposed to uphold the Constitution. It's like, bitch, then all the Democrats in the House voted to impeach this guy. All the Democrats, not a single Republican. And you're talking about unbiased or nonpartisanship.